Okay, good morning, Coach. If we can have you make some opening comments, and then we'll take questions.
Notre Dame is, one of those games of the reason why you come to play football at USC. It's one thing to play in the Pac-12 conference, but to know every year that you have an out-of-conference game against a big-time national opponent is, something that, some of these guys, they grow up dreaming about. And, we're looking forward to the opportunity. It's a major opportunity. They have a great football team, and we expect the atmosphere to be electric. This week is practice has been no different for us. We went out there, we worked, the guys are fully brought in, and we try to do everything possible to put the best guys on the field and have the best game plan going forward.
Okay, thank you. We'll start with questions, and Ryan Karchi, you're first up.
Good morning, Donte. Could you update us on the status of Jackson Dart? And in addition to that, do you see Keaton Slovis as the starter for this weekend?
Jackson Dart is still day to day, and like I said, we'll do the best thing possible to put ourselves in position to win the football game. So if that's Jackson all of a sudden starting the football game last second, if that's Jackson coming in the second, third series of the game, then so be it. We'll do what's necessary to win the football game, long as his health is first.
So you're not ruling out the chance that Jackson could appear in this game?
No, he hasn't been cleared yet. So once he's cleared, then, we'll take the next steps forward.
Thanks.
No problem.
Okay, Ryan Abraham.
Morning, Coach. Just wanted to see how the bye week affected the guys, how the team morale has been heading into this Notre Dame game.
You all are a little fortunate compared to other markets where you guys get a chance to see practice. A lot of places they don't get a chance. The media doesn't get a chance to see practice. So, it's one thing for me to say from a head coach perspective. It's another thing for you all to see it, and you all can see, on a week-to-week basis and see how the team is performing. So you can see if guys are out there with their heads down or they don't want to perform, or if guys, are still super excited to be out there. It's one thing to all of a sudden think, we have to practice today. It's another thing to have the opportunity and say, we get to practice today. And I believe these guys still have the voice in their minds and their heads, and they go out there and show every day that we get to practice today. So, I feel the morale is great.
And then for an update on Ismail Sofsher, just, full participant in the full pads practices, what did you see from him the last couple of days?
The same thing I've been seeing, a big athletic body. It's a reason why, he was heavily recruited out of high school, and, he had some setbacks as far as surgeries and different things like that. Hopefully that's all behind him now, and he's, ready to go forward and showcase his abilities.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Adam Grossbard.
Donte, we know, the goal is always to win every game, but given the up and down nature of the first 6 weeks of the season, just how important does it feel to start the second half of the season on a strong note and kind of get some momentum going into the back half?
It's not really about starting the second half of the season. Every week you got to practice, every week you got to coach, every week you got to have a meeting. So expect to win every game. You don't go into any game and say, one is more important than the other, or this is all of a sudden more important than the last one. They're all important. Every day is important. So that's the nature of this job. That's the nature of this profession. That's the nature that these players go through. So it's not one thing is more important than the other. So we're going to do everything we possibly can today, tomorrow, to make sure we keep preparing for Saturday.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, shotgun.
Donte, one of the things we've heard from some of the offensive coaches is that the scout team looks, they haven't been getting good enough scout team looks. And that was something that you guys wanted to address during the bye week. How did you go about trying to address that?
For one, just us getting healthy. By us getting healthy, it allows some guys that maybe were with the defense that, wasn't able to have to be on the scout team. Right now, all of a sudden, there's some guys coming back. We're getting some guys on the scout team that are maybe, some of our freshman type guys, whether it's a Sierra Wright or a Prophet Brown or, Anthony Beavers, Amari and Gordon. And then at the same time, the Colin Mobleys and, Max actually being able to play some D-line and go down there with the scout team. Those things have helped. We're pretty thin when it comes to D-line pretty much all year. Our backup linebackers have been the scout team D-line just because we're so thin. So just to even have actual defensive linemen down there at the O-line can block and, basically feel as far as just a weight-wise thing is huge.
Back to Ryan Abraham.
Hey, Donte, with no USC Notre Dame last year for the first time since World War II, a lot of these players haven't, played against the Notre Dame and been in this rivalry. How have the veteran players that have been around this game a little bit kind of worked with the younger players, or how's that information been disseminated down to the guys that have never played in this game?
You know what? It hasn't been too much talk about it, because if you all of a sudden just blow one game up so much, then it's all of a sudden, like I said, you're making this one game a lot more important than the others. They're all important, no matter who's the opponent. You know what I'm saying? It's always no name, no face. So every play, every game, no matter who it is, it's all important. And it's not too much that they can help them with, because still they have to go out there and play that game. You could tell somebody all the information you want, but when that ball is snapped and the person is in front of you, some people revert back to old habits. And that's why I make sure that we went back to technique and fundamentals. So those old habits are the way that they're supposed to be done.
Ryan Karchi.
Donte, Notre Dame's run game went from last year being one of the best run games in the nation to this year. I think they're averaging something like 2.75 yards per carry, among the worst in the nation. What have you seen just in general from that running back group?
The running backs are actually really good. The O-line is young, but they're still huge. The tight ends block well. At the same time, Notre Dame has played really good opponents. And some of the opponents Notre Dame plays, they don't have the same luxury as us as playing the same opponent almost every year. Some of those teams, since they're independent, it's like a new opponent every week. So it's not what I care about what they've done last year, what they even done last week. It's all about what, their game plan will be against us and what we do to combat that.
And what gives you confidence that this run defense will, I know the last couple of games was a bit of a struggle. What gives you confidence that that group will bounce back?
It wasn't the last couple of games. It was probably just the last game. But at the same time, I'm not worried about last game. I'm worried about what we would do against Notre Dame, and just having a bye week and guys getting healthy and able to come back and, perform at their full strength. And you can see it in practice. You can see guys firing off the ball and getting some of that pop back.
Shotgun.
Donte, growing up not far from the Coliseum, what does this rivalry mean to you?
It's a huge game, period. And all these games are huge. But the rivalry itself is the first time I'm able to be a part of it. So hopefully it's something I'm a part of for a very, very long time. So for me personally, this is the first of many, I feel. And, I get a chance to go against a legendary coach, and they have great coaches on their staff. So, all of that is extremely huge to me, and a chance to, fly across the country, and lead a team into, battle.
Ryan Abraham.
Now the bye week, you kind of get guys healthy, but also for you, it's your first time being a head coach. Were you able to kind of look back and reflect on those first few games and kind of see what you've learned about running a college football program?
Definitely. You get a chance to evaluate. That's the most important thing. You can look at all the other things you want, but you always have to self-evaluate first. You got to look at the things that you're doing, whether that's the day-to-day operations, as far as logistics, meetings, practice, make sure guys are in the right spots that are playing. Everything. And like I said, it's one thing for me to just look at all the DBs. It's another thing for me to look at the offense, the defense, the special teams, and not even just evaluate myself or the team, also evaluate the coaches. As the head coach, it has to be a top-down organization, and it has to be a voice that is heard throughout, and everybody has to echo that voice. So it gave me definitely a chance to overlook everything.
Okay, again, raise your hand if you have a question. Okay, Donte, I don't see any more questions. We appreciate you taking the time with us this morning. Thank you, media, for being here. I look forward to seeing some of you in South Bend, and have a good rest of the day. Thank you.
Right on.